Hello everyone, hopefully you're doing well. We're going to start by going over the homework, so please get that out, pause the video. When you're ready to roll, have out something to grade with, and write your score at the top, how many you miss. Okay, we did the first five together for number 6. An equation and an inequality, both having a variable, have a few differences. Okay, the biggest difference is going to be that an equation has one answer, okay? There's my one. All right, and an inequality could have an infinite number of answers. Those are my infinity goggles. All right, so that one I expected to be tough. If you missed it, it's okay. Moving on. For number 8, up to 12 people can ride in the van. P goes in the left. Up to means less than or equal to, so P is less than or equal to 12. A number of days D of sunshine is not equal to 28, so D is not equal to 28. That's the not equal to symbol. Number 10, the race R is farther than 6.2 miles. R is greater than 6.2. 11, the value V of the bracelet is less than 85. Less than's already there, so V represents the bracelet, less than 85. Number 12, the swimming pool S cannot be deeper than 3 1/3 feet, so that means that its S is less than or equal to 3 1/3. Number 13, hikers need to bring at least that is greater than or equal to. Those are some of the hard words. W is greater than or equal to 30. And then the last few here, for 14, B is less than 10. By the way, there are two ways to write these. If you would be writing it like this, okay, if B is less than 10, technically 10 is greater than B. I would have to give you credit, even though my preference is that you put the variable on the left and the number on the right. 15, S is greater than 19 7/10. 16, the band must raise at least $1,500 going on a band trip. They've already raised $800. This was by far the hardest question. So how much do they have to go? They need to raise at least $700 more, which means greater than or equal to. And the book doesn't do this a lot, but there should be a dollar sign there. 17, to ride a certain roller coaster, a rider must be more than 42 inches tall to represent the situation. Elias wrote H is greater than or equal to 42, and Nina wrote H is greater than 42. Who is right? Nina is always right, Elias. She's the one that got it right because you said or equal to. It doesn't say equal to 42. It doesn't say 42 inches or taller. It says greater than. Again, a tough question. And finally, for number 18, the answer was D. No more than 36 means that or equal to. These are brutal, you guys. I would say of all the things we do this year, this is definitely one of the toughest concepts. It just takes practice. So write how many you miss. If you completed them all, you will get full credit. Don't worry so much if you miss 4 or 5, even 6 or 7. We'll continue to practice these in school. So let's practice some now. Pause the video and get out a board and marker. Okay, hopefully you're back. And we're going to do a few more of these that I think will help you with an assignment that will be graded today. The weight limit W on a bridge is 10 tons. Okay, so if the weight limit is W, we're going to put down the W. We're going to put down the 10. Everybody should have this down by now. We're always going to write them this way for 6th grade. What does limit mean? It means we can't go over 10. So W is less than or equal to 10. It could be 10. Because 10 works. That's why the or equal to sign is there. I have at least $10 D in my wallet. Another one with a 10. I don't have any money in my wallet. Keywords at least. So that means we're going more or equal to 10. Please pause these as we go, you guys. It's really important you're doing these on your own. She can hold her breath B for up to 1 minute. So you put the variable on the left, the number on the right. Pause, try. What does up to mean? That means the numbers that lead up to 1. So B represents her breath. She can hold it for less than or equal to 1 minute. Evan can spend no more than 10 minutes M shooting hoops. So Evan can spend no more than 10 minutes M. Lots of 10s here. Sorry about that. So keywords here, no more than. So how is this going to work? If Evan could spend no more than 10 minutes, He could spend 8 minutes. He could spend 7 minutes, 6 minutes. So we're talking numbers less than or equal to 10. He could also go up to 10. That's the toughest set that you're going to see. Again, it just takes practice. Okay? All right. So let's look at this for a second. Read this inequality to yourself. If x is greater than 7, what could x be? X could be 8. X could be 9, 10, 624. Any number bigger than 7. There are, again, an infinite number of solutions. All right, let's read this one together. If c is less than or equal to 16, what could c be? Now, here's where this one's a little different. C could equal 16 because of that or equal to sign, or anything less than. And there, again, are an infinite number of answers. Remember the infinity goggles? To infinity and beyond. I know, you're impressed. You wish you had those goggles. All right, if p is greater than or equal to 7, again, that or equal to sign is there, so p could be 7. Could be 8, could be 9, could be 10. You guys are going to practice this today, all right? Another thing you're going to practice on a worksheet today is you guys are going to practice labeling these. If I draw an arrow and it says H and I'm going to write down the 7, if I wanted to write an inequality from this number line here, I would write H is greater than or equal to 7. Why would I write that? Because it is shaded in right here, that means that H could be 7. Why could it be other numbers, 8, 9, and so forth? Because the arrow is going to the right. Here's a little trick. Look at where the arrow is going, and if your variable is on the left side and you extend your sign for inequality, it works. It points to the right direction. That should always match right here and right here. So let's do a few of these, and I'm going to let you guys practice on a worksheet. Okay, so for the next one, we have another H. Let's change the colors up here so you guys can see a little better. And where is the circle? The circle is on the 4, so I'm going to write down my 4. Since it's shaded in, once again, I'm going to have H is greater than 4. Okay, let's go down to the next one down here. Now, let's talk about how this is different. I'm going to draw my arrow, once again going to the right, so I'm going to have an M, and I'm going to have a 12. But for this one, it's not going to say M is greater than or equal to 12. It's just going to be greater than 12. How do I know it's greater than? Because it's pointed to the right. Why didn't I draw the little line under it? Why is it just M is greater than 12? Right, it's because this one's not shaded in. Since it's not shaded in, that means it can't equal 12, so it just has to be a number that is bigger than 12. Okay? And for the last one down here, we have a Y. Why, you ask? Because it's the letter I picked. And we have a 40. Since this one's shaded in, it's going to be equal to, but it would be less than. Notice the little arrow trick. The arrow is going to the left, so the line for my inequality needs to be less than. Y is less than 40. Okay, I would like you guys to practice these. So at this point, I would like you to find this worksheet that I passed out to you, and I would like you to do 1 through 7 here. Pause the video. I will be back and go over these. If you just get the answers, guys, you're not going to understand this. Please pause the video. Yes, I'm talking to you, the one that hasn't paused it yet. Pause it now. Okay, I'm back. So we're going to go over these. So for number 1, x is greater than 8 because there's no line. I'm sorry, the arrow is going to the right, so this is going to the right, and this is hollow. The circle is not shaded in. For number 2, f is less than or equal to 4. The arrow is going to the left, so it's less than. It's numbers that are smaller than 4. And why is it or equal to? Because it could be 4. Okay, for number 3, y is less than 7. Not shaded in, so no line under it. And finally for 4, b is greater than or equal to 0. All right, at the bottom, I wanted you guys to try these 3 solutions. So name 3 solutions. Remember, for these, you guys, there is going to be an infinite number of solutions. So for these down here, you literally could say nearly anything, okay, as long as your numbers are less than y. You could have said negative 400. For 6, as long as it's 24 or bigger, you could have said 27. You could have said 30. You could have said 46. Infinite number of solutions. All right, and then finally for c is less than 14, 13, 12, 11, and so forth. Okay, anything that's under 14 but not equal to 14 there. All right, go to the back side now. I didn't want you to do this yet. And we're going to practice a little bit of solving and graphing. And I think the easiest thing to do on these is going to be to work through these together. So number 1 says 5x is greater than 35. It says solve and draw. Well, we're going to solve this just like an equation. So what I want you guys to do with me on the back is to do the inverse, because we want to get our variable alone. And we get x is greater than 7. Now to graph this, if x is greater than 7, I'm going to circle in the 7. And I'm going to draw my arrow to the right. Okay, for number 2, find my variable. Instead of adding 12, I still do it just like an equation, which you guys are all good at. I subtract 12 on both sides, and it says x is less than or equal to 6. So now when I'm graphing this, I'm going to shade in my circle, and my arrow is going to go to the left. Remember that little trick? The arrow should match the inequality arrow. Why'd I shade it in? Because it could equal 6. Okay, number 3, x minus 9 is less than 4. So instead of subtracting 9, I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So x is going to be less than 13. That isn't going to work well, Mr. E. Okay, so how would I graph x is going to be less than 13? Why don't you guys try that while I erase? Okay, so I add 9 to both sides. X is less than 13, so you're going to put down a 13. Where am I getting these numbers from? You can't make any mistakes here. I'm just putting a number before and a number after. There we go, if I scroll to the right spot. If x is less than 13, I'm going to circle it. Not shaded in because it can't equal 13, and my arrow is going to the left. Last one here for the day, and then I got a quick check that will be a grade. X divided by 3 is greater than or equal to 3. Instead of dividing by 3, I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. X is going to be greater than or equal to 9. Why don't you try to graph that? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, so I'm going to do 8, 9, and 10. If x is greater than or equal to 9, I'm going to shade it in because it could be 9. And I'm drawing my arrow to the right. Notice my little arrow trick again. They match the inequality. We'll talk about the challenge on Monday. I'm not going to do that today. If you want to try it, you can. I'll definitely talk about that in our virtual meeting on Monday. All right, here's what I would like you guys to do now. I gave you one other inequality sheet. There's 5 questions on here. This is a grade. Okay, I'm going to set these up for you. And then I'm going to close out of the video. There's no homework. You're going to bring this with you. It will be graded next week. Please pay attention to my keywords. It'll help. Okay. First question says, Mr. Barnes can eat at least 6 pieces of pizza. So you're going to put down a P. You're going to put down the 6. The keywords here are at least. P represents how much pizza Mr. Barnes can eat. Okay. Mrs. Westhoven said she can run up to 2 miles. I put down the M. I put down the 2, keywords, up to 2. So are we talking the numbers that are greater than 2? Are we talking the numbers that are less than 2? And would you include the 2? All right. I'm going to give you guys a freebie here. Let's think about this. If it's up to 2, the miles, the M, would be less than or equal to 2. Hopefully you had that. I will not give any more freebies. Okay. Mr. Chipka caught more than 8 fish. Let's put the variable on the left, put the number on the right. What do the words more than mean? What sign would that be? Okay, and then you're going to get a little practice here. All right, as I scroll, writing the inequalities. I'm also going to set these up for you. So for this one, it's going to say, we're going to have an M, all right, and it's going to be M and 19. If you need to, look back at the video of or the examples of how we did the other ones. And then down here, it's going to be an E and a 7. So if you look at 4, it looks like it's going to the right. If you look at 5, it looks like the arrow is going to the left. So think, what are you going to do for your signs? Is number 4 shaded in? Hint, hint. Is number 5 shaded in? No, so that should tell you something what the or equals to. Okay? A lot of information today, a lot of stuff we're going to review next week before the quiz. Don't panic if you're a little lost. Just do your best. You guys are doing great. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great weekend.